Many people have often asked, how is it that you've never written a poem about love? How come your poems are always about hurt and anger? Many have even asked, are you depressed? Do you have anger issues? No, I'm not depressed. In fact, I'm not even angry, you see. It's just that the word love never made sense to me. My parents have always taught me, if you didn't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. I mean, I know what love is, like, duh, I think. Wait, who am I kidding? Of course I know what love is. Why wouldn't I know what love is? Love is... Love is... Love is... I'm confused. I don't know what love is. In fact, I don't understand what love is. I thought I knew what love was when my 7th grade boyfriend told me he loved me for the first time after our very first kiss that felt like I have touched the clouds with my bare hands for the first time and wanted to cherish a piece of it for as long as I lived. It was the first time the word love bounced off the vocal cords of anyone I ever knew. My ears felt like a bride standing at the altar listening to the vows of a lover in which will always be unforgettable. An unexplainable feeling of nervousness and excitement hugged my emotions. I was speechless. That 4-letter word tickled my heart. Then I got tongue-tied. I ran home that day and told my mother the news in excitement. Mother, someone has just told me that they loved me for the first time. She said, baby, that boy doesn't love you. In fact, all he wants to do is introduce himself to your inner thighs, then permanently carve his signature there forever. So love became a lie. I thought I knew what love was when Dad kissed me on my forehead that morning before he went off to work and promised he'd be right back, and it's been 17 years since, so love broke my heart. At times, when I try to write about love, my hands shivers. My palm starts to sweat, and all I could feel is the pressure of every broken heart ever existed, weighing me down, feeling like I'm in the National Spelling Bees contest competing against myself. My anxiety starts to kick in, and my brain suddenly diagnosed me with moderate to severe Alzheimer's disease as I tried to remember my ABCs. So it's been hours trying to fill the empty pages inside of my notebook, but the word love has become unknown to my brain that it made me sick. I opened my mouth, trying to cough up any trace of love from inside of me, but instead it made me nauseous. My pen starts to bleed, and I had no other choice but to spill my guts on the empty pages with words, and before I knew it, my notebook was swimming in a river of tears. So when the word I love you roll off the tongue of someone I know well, I see an arrow ripping through the wind, making its way towards my heart in slow motion. I try to duck, praying that it'll fly past my ears, maybe bounce my curls, but fall right in the dirt. You see, when I think of love, I imagine myself inside of an hourglass, as small as a grain of sand, being flipped back and forth from one position to the next, with hopes that I might land outside of this glass of freedom. Instead, each hour becomes a disappointment over and over again. I don't know what love is. It just seems to know me too well. I know it sounds crazy, and I promise I'm not a lunatic. I just get uncomfortable when people around me start to talk about self-love. My self-esteem melts like butter inside of an empty freezer when I try to love. Something always seems to go wrong, and I would spend the rest of my life trying to make it right, so I thought to bury it. But instead, my body picked me up and dropped me alongside of the ocean. I buried it into my breath and released it onto the ocean, and since the earth is made up of 75% of water, maybe it'll find its definition there. I would sit on my bed and imagine what our conversation would be like when me and love finally meet each other for the first time. Would it be something like hi? Just hi? Would our lips freeze after that from the amount of pressure and tension in that room? Or after it introduced itself, would I apologize for the misconception of love my entire life? Thank you.